Only by examining our personal biases can we grow as artists. Only by cultivating empathy can we grow as people. It is amazing how complete is the delusion that beauty is goodness. It doesn't matter how far it is for you to reach your goal. What matters is your aim to succeed. To use your head, you have to go out of your mind. The only thing that can grow is the thing you give energy to. Live to revel in just another twilight. Life may sink and disappear along with the sunset, never to rise again. The only faithfulness people have is to emotions they're trying to recapture. The fear of appearances is the first symptom of impotence. Free yourself from the inauthenticity and disempowerment of your story. Don't be too timid and squeamish about your actions. All life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better. Let the speaker speak truly and the judge decide justly. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. Miracles don't just happen. You have to work to succeed. You have to have an achievable dream. Our ability to adapt is amazing. Our ability to change isn't quite as spectacular. We hold the future still timidly, but perceive it for the first time as a function of our own action. The world is merciless, and it's also very beautiful. Rejections come the moment we decide to turn our one day into day one, and that is totally okay. It's a sad day when you find out that it's not accident or time or fortune, but just yourself that kept things from you. If you can't feel gratitude when you are in need, the feeling of the need would never leave you even if it is fulfilled. The scientific spirit is of more value than its products, and irrationally held truths may be more harmful than reasoned errors. It's not always what we don't know that gets in our way. Sometimes it's what we think we know that keeps us from learning. Reason may be employed to support faith as well as to destroy it. It's not about whether or not someone is a bigot, but whether or not the argument which that someone is arguing is worth being a bigot about. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. We're never called on to do what hurts. We just do what hurts out of ignorance and habit. Once we see what we're doing, we can stop. Some want to live within the sound of church or chapel bell. I want to run a rescue shop within a yard of hell. I tell you, one must still have chaos in one to give birth to a dancing star. I tell you, you have still chaos in you. This life is not a movie, and sometimes I forget that. All the papers that matter live off their advertisements, and the advertisers exercise an indirect censorship over news. The boy and his heart had become friends, and neither was capable now of betraying the other. If a man confessed anything on his deathbed, it was the truth, for no man could stare death in the face and lie. It's always the ones who are the quietest who often have the greatest things to say. Humanity must forgive humanity, for only then can we be humane. I don't think you should wait. I think you should speak now. You will never follow your own inner voice until you clear up the doubts in your mind. In order to move on, you must understand why you felt what you did and why you no longer need to feel it. I only seem negative to the fortunate. That's because I show the less fortunate that they aren't less fortunate after all. The most wasted of days is one without laughter. This was not a fairy tale. This was not the movies. This was life. It hurt more. It was excruciating. It was excruciatingly beautiful. I have no ambition to govern men. It is a painful and thankless office. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world. If my life is going to mean anything, I have to live it myself. Never curse a fall. The ground is where humility lives. I would prefer a sword to fight duel, but a pin to plan a war. This body is fragile. It is just flesh. Listen to the heartbeat. Life depends on the pumping of a muscle. Occasionally he stumbled over the truth, but hastily picked himself up and hurried on as if nothing had happened. The mind is everything. What you think you become. Persistence guarantees that results are inevitable. Hopes, wants, and wishes all cast across the night sky with my heart in tow. You may lie with your mouth, but with the mouth you make as you do, so you nonetheless tell the truth. The man who writes about himself and his own time is the only man who writes about all people and all time. Others have seen what is and asked why. I have seen what could be and asked why not. The truth seems directed at you when in fact, it's blind. Peter Ojo. You can never cross the ocean until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. We all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. When I look at my old pictures, all I can see is what I used to be but am no longer. I think, what I can see is what I am not. You are art. You are a masterpiece. Treat yourself as such. I never trust frank and simple people whose stories hold together. The worst memories stick with us, while the nice ones always seem to slip through our fingers. In the world there exists no aesthetic plane, not even the aesthetic plane of goodness. I have never killed anybody, it is true, but it is because I lack the courage or the time, not because I lack the desire. It is not the mountain we conquer but ourselves. To be haunted is to glimpse a truth that might best be hidden. Politics determines who has the power, not who has the truth. You will have 500 million little bells, and I shall have 500 million springs of fresh water. Whenever you feel bad, remember all the good days you've had and be happy again. History is idle gossip about a happening whose truth is lost the instant it has taken place. In the face of adversity, we have a choice. We can be bitter, or we can be better. Those words are my North Star. The most important thing about a technology is how it changes people. It is better moving up to your goal and falling than not falling doing nothing. Always be friendly, always be kind, like the most beautiful flower that you can find. Karma is given, not to those who ask, but to those who ask of nothing. Your mind must be stronger than your feelings. The key to life is accepting challenges. Once someone stops doing this, he's dead. Some use drugs to silence the pain. Others use them to feel the pain they silenced. Nobody is wired wrong, because there's no wrong and right in the way we are. Ideen mij vivogem zivilgenja sotiste, ki si jai postavis sam. You don't know me. You know one me, just like I know one you. And you can't know every me, and I can't know every you. It doesn't matter where your journey begins, so long as you begin it. The truth is the kindest thing we can give folks in the end. Everything that is done in this world is done by hope. The truth about an animal is far more exciting and altogether more beautiful than all the myths woven about it. Don't only practice your art, but force your way into its secrets, for it and knowledge can raise men to the divine. Maturity is when you stop complaining and making excuses and start making changes. The true hypocrite is the one who ceases to perceive his deception, the one who lies with sincerity. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it isn't so. But truly, if I were not Alexander, I would be Diogenes. Truth strikes us from behind and in the dark, as well as from before and in broad daylight. Growing up is losing some illusions in order to acquire others. Wisdom is having things right in your life and knowing why. No matter how long you train someone to be brave, you never know if they are or not until something real happens. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Every grain of sand has an intricate role to play in this marvelous masterpiece called life. Nothing is random. Respect all happenings. The illiterate is not the one who has never gone to school, but the illiterate is the one who never tries to learn something by himself. It takes more effort to avoid the truth than it does to face it. At times, it can feel like the loneliest place on earth because it's just us, alone with our unanswered prayers. Don't chase. Elevate your game and be someone worth chasing after. Death is unstoppable. One must face it as a fact of life. Clocks slay time. Time is dead as long as it is being clicked off by little wheels. Only when the clock stops does time come to life. Arrival in the world is really a departure, and that, which we call departure, is only a return.